I'm Jillian, and this is my puppy Phoenix. She's a little over a year old, and she's a Beagle Pointer mix. And today we're working on crate training. She already sleeps in her kennel, so she's quite comfortable with it and familiar with it. But what we want to do today is teach her a verbal cue so that she goes in on cue. Sometimes when dogs are a little bit uncomfortable with their kennel, teaching them to go in on cue helps make it their choice when they go in, and that can help reduce the stress around going in. It can also be a lot easier to get the dog in if they have a cue and they expect a reinforcer for going in. Some dogs, anticipate when you're going to leave the house and they know that you're going to put them in the kennel, and so at that point they will go and hide or avoid the area where the kennel is, and we don't want to set it up where we're forcing the dog in, dragging the dog in, because then that just continues to make it a negative experience, negative association with the kennel. So what we want to do is teach them to go in on a cue or a command, and then take away that confrontational aspect of it. So clearly Phoenix is very comfortable with her kennel, but she doesn't yet have a cue, a word. So that's what we're going to add in today. Come here, Phoenix. Come here. Come here, girl. Good girl. So what I'm going to start off doing is when she goes towards it, I'm going to click and give her a treat. So I'm clicking for the behavior that I want, which is going to the kennel, and then rewarding for it. And once the dog is doing that actively, then you add in your word or your cue or your command. Phoenix, come here. Kennel. Good girl. So what I did was I saw her eyes looking into the kennel and her body about to move towards it. So that's when I snuck in the word kennel. And then I clicked as she was going in, and then gave her the treat once her whole body was in. Phoenix, kennel. Good girl. Kennel. Good girl. So that time when I first set it, she was in a sitting position rather than standing. And dogs tend to be more willing to move forward when they're standing, because she was sitting and hasn't learned what the word kennel means quite yet. She just kind of looked at me, which is fine. I just turned my body towards the kennel and gave her a bit of a hint. And then again, I clicked as she was going in and gave her the treat. And that helps reinforce that word, the sound that she'll hear that sounds like kennel, means if you go in, you will get a reward. And what you do is in the beginning, you reward the dog every single time they go in. Some people like to make it a stronger behavior and put it on intermittent reinforcement, and that just means sometimes you get a treat, sometimes you don't. Now for kenneling, for a dog, oftentimes it's not a reinforcing thing in itself. Other things that they do can be reinforcing because they're fun. But a kennel basically means, it's sleeping time, which can be reinforcing for a tired dog, or it means your people are leaving. And oftentimes that is not reinforcing for a dog. And so I suggest giving them a reward every time they go in if you're going to be leaving the house, or if it's not going to be something pleasant for the dog. That way you continue to make it a pleasant experience. Even better if it's a young dog, or if it's a dog that's got a lot of energy or a lot of, needs a lot of enrichment to keep busy, you may want to put things in there with them. Something that's safe to chew on, stuffed Kongs, things like that, to help them keep them busy, give them something to do, so they're not just bored in there all day long. Come on, buddy. Come on. Phoenix, kennel. Good girl. So she doesn't actually know the word yet. She's just anticipating what's going to come next, and when she didn't quite understand what I wanted, I could give her the hint, and that's fine. Dogs are very good at anticipating, so if you pair the word kennel with that gesture, enough times, they will just anticipate it once they hear the word. What you want to do is take care to not do them at the same time. So you say the word kennel, wait a moment, I counted 3 seconds in my head, and then turn and do your gesture or your hint for your dog. Because if you do them both at the same time, they'll ignore the word that you're saying and just look to your body language, because dogs are much more attuned to our body's movements and our body language. And so they'll just pay attention to the one that's more significant to them. And then what you can do is, as you go, you'll be saying the word kennel, counting to 3 in your head. The dog will already be anticipating that you're going to gesture, and you'll be able to fade out the gesture, and they'll just be able to go in on the cue. Come on out. Come on out. Kennel. Good girl. So that time, what I did was, I think she was out of the picture there, but I didn't wait for her to sit before saying the word. I said it when she was already still standing and still moving, and that was going to make it more likely for her to continue moving towards the kennel. She's now laying down over here. Phoenix! Kennel! Good girl. There you go. Kennel! Good girl. Kennel. You did a good girl. Kennel. You almost did it. You started moving there. So this is her offering me behavior. She thinks I want a lie down, or she's being silly and goofy wanting to play, which is totally fine. So what I'll do is I'll do one more rep and then I'll end there, because you want to end while a dog is still enjoying herself, having fun, learning. You don't want to keep going to the point where they're exhausted and not interested in doing the training anymore. So keep your sessions short and sweet and fun. 2 minutes, count out 10 treats, 5 treats, and just do a very few number of reps. More frequent short training sessions are much more effective than infrequent long training sessions. Phoenix! Come here, honey. Kennel! Good girl! Yay! Good girl! And you want to end on a positive note. She got it right that time, so then I can tell her, break, free, whatever word you want to use to tell her that you're all done, good job, and we're all done training for today. If you're interested in more information or more ideas for keeping your dog busy while they are in the kennel, you can check out our blog post on Boredom Busters, or a Canada Day blog post which covers making stuffed Kongs for your dogs, and that'll help give you a few more ideas. So have fun training, and feel free to contact us with any questions.